Almost 10 years ago, this morning's guest made an investment in Myrtle Beach. It was in ice. Today, it's hard rock solid. Who is he? You'll meet him coming up next on Carolina People. Good morning. Welcome to Carolina People. This morning we're in the Ice House Theater at Cool Country, home of Country on the Rocks. We're focused on Jon Binkowski, the Chief Creative Officer of the Hard Rock Park. Good morning, Jon.
Good morning.
Thanks so much for coming in this morning.
It's a little early, but I'm here. I made it. Because we've been having some late nights, you know.
Absolutely. The sound check all week long.
That's right.
Wrapping up at 10 o'clock last night and back on T this afternoon.
That's right. So it's been great. And we've had a tremendous response to the park. So
yeah.
Awesome.
It has been. Rain or shine, it would have been a successful week, and of course it's been successful no matter what.
Yeah. The great thing about this park is you can enjoy it if it's sunny out, if it's raining out. We have shade, we have opportunities to go in and do some shopping or whatever. If it's sprinkling, we have cover. It's great. And it's made for that.
Absolutely. It really is. As you walk around the entire facility, you could spend not just a day, not just a week, but week after week after week just learning new nuances of the facility. It's amazing.
That's right. Well, and that's why we've had such a tremendous response with our annual passes.
Right.
The annual passes are the best deal that you can get out there, only because as a local, it gives you the opportunity to come as many times as you want. We're going to be open, I don't know how many, 240, 250 days. I mean, and if you come over 3 times, you've already paid for the thing. And there are people, and you will see this, that, this is no longer my park. This is no longer Hard Rock's park. It is the locals' park. It is their place. They let you know, when something needs to be cleaned up or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
And usually we're right on top of it, but they have a pride of ownership. It's their park.
You've
they
seen
deserve
that even well before the sound check kicked off this week. You were seeing it as folks pop by the sneak peek, the visitor center.
They are happy to express their opinions, mostly positive, but also they'll say, I have an idea. It would be a really good idea if you had, something over here for this, and that would make it more convenient for me and my family. And we go, absolutely, this is your park. We're happy to help. I mean, they have ideas. I mean, they're good people. They're here in, locally, and all of our visitors that come here.
Sure, and for the local side, I mean, it's not just Myrtle, it's not just Horry. We're talking about a very large local footprint here. For folks that would look at a $500 million park, you're talking about a very large radius there of real locals.
Well, that's right, because, think that you can hop in the car and have a 2-hour drive. That kind of makes the radius pretty big.
Absolutely.
So people can come by and enjoy the park whenever they want, whenever they feel like they want to get out and walk around. It is a park. It's an outdoor experience. Myrtle Beach, we recognize and respect the fact that everyone comes for the beach, and we have another nice outdoor alternative after everyone has had fun in the sun on the sands.
Absolutely. Even for folks who don't buy an annual pass or coming out here, that price, it may sound a little startling at first, $50, but at the same time, being able to spend a full day, if you just break it down 6 or 7 hours, it's less than $10 an hour. I mean, it's really, for the kind of thrill you'd get out here, it's incredible.
There's 2 things that I still can't believe are the greatest, experiences that you can get for the dollar. One is movies. I can't believe that somebody would spend $100 million so that I can get a $10 ticket, watch it, and go, yeah, that's a movie. Or the next one is theme parks. We spend $400 million. Plus, we're spending millions and millions of dollars. We have 3,000 employees that are all running around making sure to take care of you and everything. For $50, I challenge anyone to find any other value better than that. Movies and theme parks, it's the way to go.
That's a great point. That's a great point, Jon. This has been a dream in the making for quite a while for you and many others. This is what a great kickoff this week on something you all have been working on for many years now.
Yeah. Actually, I've been here since 1999.
Is that right?
Yes. And in 2000 is when I actually closed on this theater that we're sitting in here today. I didn't
give
come
us
here.
a little bit of the history there, please.
Here's the sad story. No, I'm just kidding. I didn't come here to build a Hard Rock Park, and neither did Stephen or Felix or anyone. What I came here for is because I knew Myrtle Beach was a great market, and I wanted to invest in Myrtle Beach. And I was just a little guy, but there was an opportunity to buy a theater, and Mr. Patrick Henry, a local here, sold me the theater. And I happily got started here, and then found out that things were, there were some things that were not so good that were happening here. Mostly the fact that we had lost Waccamaw, and that Waccamaw had closed, and so the mothership for this location all of a sudden stopped happening. So I got to really know Patrick as a friend during the whole process, and I said, why don't we gather together some influential local people here so that we can try to develop this. Now, the fact that I've been in theme parks all my life, I guess I couldn't think of anything else better to do. I know, we'll build a theme park. But the idea was really just to do a small park around the lake, kind of a little fun and wheels park, just something to help invigorate the area. And then to get the financing for it, we brought in Stephen Goodwin, who ended up being our CEO, who took it from what was probably thought of as a $25 to $40 million project up to a $400 million project. Why? Because this market can accommodate that. And I didn't know when I first came in what kind of awesome infrastructure that Mr. Bishop had begun. We're standing on the shoulders of the giant George Bishop. He's the one that started all of this. He's the one that got the state to bring in all of this road infrastructure and all of the power and the sewer and everything. We were on pre-developed property. If it wasn't for him, we would not be here today.
That's tremendous, John. Absolutely. And of course, next spring, the Fantasy Arbor Bridge should be opening, which will be a great gateway right out onto the bypass. Something that we've never seen. Never seen anything like that.
Yeah, and it'll be fantastic. And I do have hats off to the state for that, because a few years back, the state said we're going to fund this effort. And they've been moving along with it, and when that opens up, that'll make a nice alternative to be able to go down 501 or 31 and get onto 17 bypass.
Absolutely, an easy shot out, and for folks flying in, who fly into the airport and then roll right up Harrelson Boulevard, cross right over the waterway, and hopefully right into the Hard Rock Park. For viewers who need to get off to work now or get family off to school, what's the best, is it the hardrockpark.com, or just picking up the phone, dialing to get directions for our viewers in the PD or southeastern North Carolina who may have never been down here and obviously no sound checks going on? They want to get out here this afternoon at 4.
Yeah, well, hardrockpark.com is the best way to be able to get all of your up-to-date information. Always welcome to give us a call at 236-ROCK. And we would be able to, help you out through that. But, so many people are web savvy now that when they have an opportunity, they can come down and pull down directions or what's happening, events that are taking place, and so forth.
There's tremendous info online and lots of great pictures. Obviously, maps getting down here make it as easy as possible for folks, whether they're coming, the website's clear, coming up from Charleston, coming in on I-95, coming down from Wilmington, wherever you're coming from. It makes it real easy to get here. But of course, there's other great info breaking down all the basics, the benefits you get if you pay $150 to get an annual pass. You can buy those online as well.
Yes, and in fact, there's one area in there you can take a look at and just see, all right, you have all of these attractions. What is going to work for kind of my age range? If I'm going to spend $150, what do I get for my $150 if I'm a 5-year-old or if I'm a 65-year-old? And what would be appealing to me? And a lot of it has to do with, mostly just height requirements. There are some attractions like Led Zeppelin the Ride that a 5-year-old can't go on because they have to be so tall to be able to do that. But in designing the park, we made sure that that kid also has a tremendous amount of things to do. And that's one of the things that I think we need to get the word out on. And people will do that themselves, because word of mouth is still the most powerful thing, is they'll say, oh, there is a ton of things for the littler kids to do in this park, because rock and roll has no bounds. Mick Jagger, he's a grandparent, and rock and roll now permeates all the way down to the Hannah Montana crowd,
Absolutely. I heard your 5-year-old was a little upset about not being able to get on the ride, and obviously my daughter was upset earlier this week not being able to get on, particularly as we got in line there.
But she was happy to get on Shake, Rattle, and Roller Coaster, and to her, Shake, Rattle, and Roller Coaster is Led Zeppelin the Ride. And that's neat. It's their first kind of rite of passage, my first roller coaster ride. And we designed it in such a way so that if you remember the old coasters, you would have a lap bar, and I would have me, and I'm kind of big, and my little girl in there, and she would be rattling around in there. It kind of makes me nervous. But with Shake, Rattle, and Roller Coaster, we have separate lap bars. So I have my lap bar, she's snug in there, feels comfortable, and so she can just, rock on. And the ride, even though it is a smaller ride,
Right.
it still has some energy and activity to it. So of course we had to go on it and go on it and go on it and go on it and go on it. So I'm warning the parents out there.
That's right. That's right. It's the sound check is just for another 2.5 weeks.
That's right.
Big May 9th coming up quick.
That's right. And sound check has been a great opportunity for us to get the locals to participate in us getting this thing happening.
Right.
What's been happening so far is from 4 o'clock to 10 o'clock, we're opening up the attractions,
Right.
and including the live shows.
Sure.
And we'll actually have someone on a microphone saying, this is a dress rehearsal. And I love watching dress rehearsals. I went to London and got to see a play being done. And, you know, I think people are fascinated with that. And we need your help. If you like something, let the cast know. If you don't, make sure you don't let them know, because we need to know where our gaps are and so forth. Mm-hmm. And we may have to stop the show from time to time. And the audience totally is into it and is helpful.
Oh, yeah.
They let them know when they love something, they go nuts. So
right.
it's kind of an interesting experience. It's only going to happen for a couple of more weeks, and then we're off and running.
Absolutely.
No
As you
looking
said
back.
10 minutes ago, it is the locals park, and locals have been giving you some great feedback already the last 2 or 3 days. Folks
We have been doing that,
Right.
you know, local feedback from the very beginning. In fact, in this theater, when we first announced that we were going to be doing a theme park,
Right.
we invited all the locals, and some may remember this, to, this was a while ago, it was like 2001, to come and hear what we were planning to do, so we
Right.
could talk about all of the issues that worries locals.
Mm-hmm.
And most of them are things like traffic and things like
Mm-hmm.
that. Where I have had the pleasure of living in Orlando, where they have lots and lots of parks, and I lived right next to SeaWorld, and I had to learn the traffic patterns, you know, of people coming in and so forth.
Sure.
And actually, it isn't as bad as everyone thinks. It is actually kind of a nice experience in that most theme park people come in,
Right.
they stay for a long time, and they filter out. Where in a shopping area, they're coming
Sure.
and going, coming and going.
Oh,
coming and
yeah,
going.
yeah.
And traffic. Here we've got an in, and then we've got an out, and pretty much you have a feel for that, and it's not as bad as everyone thinks.
Mm-hmm. That's a great point. That's a great point. I think it's next weekend. It actually, next Saturday and Sunday will be from 10 to 10. The following weekend, 10
That's
to 10.
correct. That is correct. On the
you've
weekends,
got
we're
that
going to be
Saturday
really
and
doing
Sunday
it.
where you're going to really hit it hard,
Yep.
full day, a full 12-hour experience there, and make sure that folks continue to give you feedback. Getting ready. I think Steven said earlier in the week that you've got a special thing on May 8th for annual pass holders.
Yes. One Republic is going to be doing a concert there, and annual pass holders, just the annual pass holders, are invited to come, enjoy the park, you know,
Right.
it's their park, and experience a concert. We have a couple of special event concerts, you know, the Eagles
Yeah,
and the Moody
no,
Blues,
yeah.
which is a special ticket.
Right.
But for the most part, most of the concerts that will take place here will be part of the daily admission. So annual pass holders, I mean, what a deal. I mean, I have an annual pass. I can come in, I can see Kid Rock or Charlie Daniels, and it doesn't cost me any extra, and I get to experience the whole park, and I can come and go as I please.
That's
as many
insane.
times as I want. So it really is a great deal.
I think that's better than the $100 million movie and getting a $10 ticket. I mean, I think you've taken it to another level there when you're talking about that, John.
Well, it is kind of a textural, visceral experience where
Right.
people get a chance to touch and feel and see and hear and smell and taste. And what's neat about it is that it is something that doesn't happen in an hour and a half and is over with.
Oh, yeah.
It can go on for 4 hours, 6 hours, 8 hours. You can stay, 12 hours if you
Sure.
wish to. If the park's open that late.
Right.
Have
Amped
at
is
it.
keeping them going. Amped is keeping them going. That's right.
And I got to say something about the food. Chef Tim, who we actually have an executive chef
Oh,
who's
yeah.
working on the
Oh,
food
yeah.
here, is really trying to take it up a notch because, you say theme park food, and everyone goes, yeah, okay. I'm telling you, I've done some taste testings at the Rockabilly Barbecue,
Right.
and even at Amped with the sandwiches. They're outstanding, and we're really trying to set that bar higher for the parks.
Oh, yeah.
So we have great food.
Get
So your food
down.
experience, well, it's Hard Rock. I mean, your food experience has to be good. Your entertainment experience needs to be fantastic, and even your shopping experience. So we have, I think, some of the more unique and interesting places to be able to enjoy a
Right.
shopping experience at any, park. And don't get me started about the bathrooms because they're gorgeous. and we've got the best bathrooms.
Listen up, folks,
and that means a
that's
lot.
worth the admission. Yeah,
I'm telling you, it means a lot to a parent, particularly, and we've really taken that into consideration when doing that. So it's a nice place. We want everyone to have a great time and have the amenities they need to be able to do their thing.
This is tremendous. As you think back, for you, it's been almost a decade here, John, to imagine, and as we think through the design, how y'all came about laying out the design, and of course the entire facility, 6 major areas. We're in the first one to the right after you're coming in the all-access entry plaza area there, but veering off to the right, Cool Country. But y'all went through a lot of decisions. I mean, there's so many different things that would tie into hard rock or even rock and roll at all. Well, how did y'all go ahead and just give us the idea there of how this came about?
Absolutely. What we did is we backed into it. What we said was, first of all, who's our audience? Our audience is a visitor that comes to Myrtle Beach. And who's the visitor? Well, we have, on rough numbers, about 1 million golfers that come, but about 13 million families that come.
Right.
So we better make this park be able to accommodate the family. And in designing the park, what we did is we said, let's make sure the family stays together because the family likes to go to the beach together, they love to eat together, and they, you notice they putt golf together too, because it's one thing the whole family can do together.
Any miniature golf out here?
Not just
yet.
You're
not,
however,
listen up. Yeah.
There are 50 of them, in
throughout the area,
and they all do really well because the whole family can get together. And we wanted to make that happen.
Yeah.
We wanted to accommodate mom because mom, for the most part, is the coordinator of the group. So when we developed our areas, we said, you know what, let's not do a 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, because it breaks up the family. It goes against our philosophy. I'd be stuck in the 70s, my kids would be in the aughts somewhere, my brother would be in the 60s. We want to stay together. So we came up with general area themes like British Invasion, Born in the USA, Rock and Roll Heaven, where the whole family has something. And mom, or the coordinator of the group, is within ear or eye shot of every person in the family. So the seniors are over there shopping, the whole family can go watch the show, the teens are over on that roller coaster, the kids are in the play area, and they're all here, and I get a cup of coffee, I'm good. So, and then we can go on to the next area together as a family. So we really try to keep that into consideration.
And you've already seen it this week as Soundcheck kicked off on Tuesday that folks are staying in Cool Country, staying here.
Together,
heading over to Born in the USA together.
Because nobody likes, okay, you're going to be in Kiddie Land, and I'm going to be over in Teen Land, and I'm on my, Nextel, bleep, bleep, talking to you. You don't want to do that. You want to enjoy yourselves. Time is one of the more precious things that everyone has. So if people have chosen to bring their families to spend time with us, we want to make sure that they have a good family experience.
Yes. You threw out some amazing names for folks that have the annual passes. Kid Rock, Charlie Daniels, some other great experiences that folks will have.
Yes, and we have a couple of more that we're going to be announcing here very soon because we know also in the summer, place will be very busy, but in the fall, we also want to have a couple of concerts that are going to be kicking up in the fall, so the annual pass holders will, have another reason to come back to Hard Rock Park and visit us.
You've got 2 daughters, John. 5 and 7. They are, you talked about one ride, obviously, your youngest is really focused on. Have they been given some good feedback as to some of the other rides they're really focused on
yes,
and
actually,
excited about?
Hard Rock Park had one of their first special events here, which was the birthday party of my 7, now 8-year-old. She just turned 8. Whoop. And the 8-year-old, she had, specific things she wanted to do. And I was like, do you want to ride a ride? Do you want to play a game? She goes, no. Daddy, I want to meet Malibu Barbie from from Malibu Beach Party. And that reminded me that the most important thing still with this whole park is the human interaction. That the one thing of all the rides and things that she did, the most memorable standout thing was the one-on-one connection she had with one of the entertainers from our shows. But it amazes me that people will walk away and say, I love the park because they expect a great park, great food and everything. But what they walk away with is that one-on-one interaction they had with whoever it is that's there. So that's such an important thing with us, that we have good, personable people that have attitude, because this is Hard Rock Park, but that can interact with the guests because it has such a big impact. You got to remember, we're all still humans, and we like to have that personal interaction.
I've also seen the last couple of days a real focus on making sure that I'm at the entrance or at the exit, which is the same thing, and the safety factor there. If folks are throughout the park, I know that I can sit right at the entrance and know that they can't get out. My daughter can't get out any other way. She's got to come through the front area.
Exactly. And Dale, who you spoke with earlier,
Right, sure.
is a big stickler for that, because we need to have, first and foremost, a very safe environment,
Right.
so that everyone can have fun.
Sure.
Now, we will try to simulate, kind of a dangerous situation. We'll have flames that go up here or whatever, but we all know that it's in a very safe environment.
Right, absolutely. I got to throw this name out, Joe Petruccio. I
Yep.
believe you all have a special guy here on site.
Yes, Joe Petruccio actually is our official hard rock artist, and his art is awesome. He also has a relationship with Graceland, with the Elvis
great,
Presley
sure,
folks.
yeah.
And he is a named artist for them as well. He has done some beautiful art throughout the park, because we're not only about the memorabilia, but we also acknowledge the artists, photographers. There's some fantastic photography of artists and concerts and things.
Oh, yeah.
And Joe Petruccio is a guy who can just do wonders with a paintbrush. I don't know how he does it, but some of his product is on display here and also for sale, and he is the official artist of Hard Rock Park.
That's tremendous. John, for you, as you walk around now and as you've seen folks interact the last few days during the sound check, and as you keep getting focused on May 9th and then even a bigger grand opening on June 2nd and 3rd, for you, are some things really sticking out in your mind? Some aspects of things you may not have noticed before a lot of people were in there, things that are really driving a lot of interest. Clearly, the ride has been a big deal, as everyone's been thinking about it, and leading up to that, a real signature location. But for you, is anything sticking out in your mind?
Yes, there's some things that I have just forgotten about. Because remember, I've been part of this from the very beginning, and it's emotional to walk through the park and say, 7 years ago, I was almost bankrupt in here, didn't know what to do.
Right.
And I turned to my family and I said, I have a plan. We're going to build a theme park. Now imagine my wife, bless her.
Oh, yeah.
She did say, what's plan B a couple of times. But to walk through the park and see that happening. But I forget, because we've been in construction mode so much. There's two things that really stood out with me. One is the live entertainment. Around every corner, there's awesome live entertainment that's happening. And the second thing is, I've seen a lot of our construction workers visiting the park. I mean, they're coming back over and over again. Why? Because you know what? They have an emotional connection to this too. Where else can you build something? Normally, you're a home builder. You build a home for someone else to live in. Here, they've built something with love that they want to bring their families to. This is their park as well. So it's neat to see the pride of the craftsmen that have worked on all of this, bringing their families in. That blows me away.
Absolutely. And that interaction, as you say, and you've seen a lot of it, I know I've seen a lot of it this week, interaction between families, local families, that are feeding off of each other. Some that have been out to the sneak peek, the 100,000 plus folks that have been out there, others who'd never been here at all and thought, how could this be in Myrtle Beach? This is not Myrtle Beach. This is insane. This is Orlando. This is L.A. This is somewhere gigantic. But this is right here in our home.
Well, I look at Market Common and look at and us. We're growing up and coming of age, and this is a great thing. I did see there were two ladies that are locals that have been to the backstage tour, have been to Sneak Peek and everything, and for sound check they were there, and there were some new people that were, I believe, from Philadelphia or somewhere. Anyways, they all of a sudden were becoming tour guides for them. They were like, no, you got to come over here and you got to see this. Take a look at this. Now come over here and see this. I hope that new friendships are being forged. This is going to be the first place that a lot of first dates are going to happen and family reunions, and it'll give an opportunity for dads and kids and moms and grandparents and everyone to get together, because music has kind of permeated all those different levels. It's neat when you watch people that are listening to a piece of music like Bohemian Rhapsody, and Bohemian Rhapsody is playing, and everybody knows it. They know it from different ways. I know it from Freddie Mercury. My kids know it from Wayne's World or whatever. But everyone at the same time is going, and you're watching the whole family doing this. It's awesome, and it's something they're all sharing together. And sometimes it's cool for the grandparent to go, I know the words to this. Why? And the younger ones are going, how do you know that? Well, it was a Joni Mitchell song before Counting Crows did it. But it makes them look cool. Hard Rock Park is a place where every member of the family can be cool.
As those family reunions are happening 5 years from now, and they remember their first time here, and 10 years from now, clearly you all have laid out opportunity for growth and to continue. Surely the sound check now and leading up to May 9th, and then for many years to come. But You see a long, long future here, and clearly lots of opportunities to continue to grow and to fix up and continue to make this a real special place.
Absolutely. I mean, we have great opportunities. You'll see when you walk through the park, there are kind of some roads to nowhere. Is that for future expansion? Yes, possibly, but also for special events. We're going to be a big special event park. You know, look for Rocktoberfest and Rock and Horror Nights, you know, a Halloween adventure,
right.
and for a Christmas Rocktacular happening and so forth. There's going to be lots of events that are happening here. So not only are we just a park that happens, and we will do capital expansions to have new attractions happen, but really special events are going to be huge.
Jon, congratulations on a great first week here on the Sound Shack.
Well, I look forward to seeing everybody come visit me, and I will be walking the park, so really if anyone who's watching the show wants to come up and has any questions or anything, I'll be there and be happy to chat.
I love it. The Chief Creative Officer. Stay tuned to more Carolina Peak with Jon Binkowski coming up next. Think about that plane flying over. Jon's in the plane, he's looking down, he sees that theater. I'm going to buy that place, he's saying. I'm going to buy that place. I'm going to turn it into something. It did, it turned into something, but think about that. The ball rolling and rolling and rolling, and the excitement of today. Could he have ever dreamed, could he have ever fantasized even of the Hard Rock Park? He couldn't almost a decade ago. But it's happened. As they were talking about a $40 million thing and thinking about it and bringing Steven in, what's it turned into? Almost $500 million, $400 million. Think of that excitement. There's a reason he's the Chief Creative Officer. These dreams have to start somewhere. They started on that flight over as he looked down and planned out his future and his family's future. A lot of families will make a future. They'll start right here. It's the Hard Rock Park. Get out here. The Sound Check will be over in a couple weeks. The grand opening on May 9th. HardRockPark.com, 236-ROCK. Get out here. Jon Binkowski, thanks so much. Absolutely.